got some things to say. Sorry, keep talking. Notice I'm talking. Brandon got some things to probably say what's going on. Hands up, right on Lewiston, and this whole thing is really about communication and testimony, public testimonies. And we also have some music will be going on. We have a live performance going on by our buddy here, and I actually wrote a song for the recovery community. I'm going to actually perform it for y'all. Mike Battleford also is going to be coming up talking about a lot of other things too as well, going on Rustic, and we can't wait to hear about that. So every month it will be like this. There'll be more people coming, more connections, more groups coming together, and what I would love to see y'all do, even y'all on Facebook world, is to come out here and get connected. Rather we're in Augusta, Lewiston, or Rustic, because we'll be going all over with this Hope Brokers thing that we're doing, but Augusta will always have this every month, right here. And the next step will be hopefully getting 16 counties someday and hiring more and more people. Because here's the thing, if we come together, I've noticed in this community in Augusta, we organize the community to come together, we got a center. We organize the community to come together, we got a warrant center. We organize the community to come together, and we have a community. This is not from anybody doing anything other than coming together and having these communications, conversations, inviting people to space. And I'm going to stop talking because I like to do that a lot. And I'm going to give it over to my buddy.
Wilfred. Yeah, I have to make
sure, because you love them.
Sometimes I'm a little lower, you know.
No, it's all right.
Alrighty.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? Yeah. You already know what it is.
Yeah.
So my name is Wilfred. If you guys don't know, you know, I'm somebody who's just been through a lot, and I just, you know, let me just break it down right now. Is that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for these guys. I just want to let that be known. These guys definitely helped me, and the love that they gave to me is unconditional. It's more than you could ever ask for. They're family to me, and that's what this is about. This is about family, you know. And I've pretty much lost most of my family to death, or to, you know, to just nonsense. You know, people want to hurt you, and you know, from a person that's been through a lot, I just think that everybody in here could just you know, shine your light like I'm shining it, and they shined it on me. I'm just trying to get my life together. I have a long history of addiction use that I, you know, went through that brought me here for a reason, you know, and a lot of stuff happens for a reason. I can't tell you why, you know, like I've been burnt out of 4 houses, and, you know, I lost 2 of my kids to the state. I went with the wrong women at the wrong times, and I always was, you know, I grew up in a rough household. My mom was always negative. She was always screaming, yelling, fighting, breaking things, smashing stuff, kicking my dad's windshields out. She was sick inside, you know, so she had a mental illness that, you know, took a hold of her in the worst way, and I had to grow up watching that, and it was kind of hard for me and stuff, so I cried a lot, you know, when I was a kid, so it hurt me, you know. I'd come home from school and the whole house smashed, everything. There's nothing to be used. Everything has to go in the garbage. She would smash everything. She'd just get on this kick. She'd wake up. There was really no normal mornings or days that, you know, we had. Most of my memories with her were hard times. But, you know, maybe those hard times was God showing us, you know, showing me, you have to harden up. You know, maybe my mom, you know, she showed tough love. And I think the love that she showed me was the love that my dad didn't show me. And now I'm just starting to put this stuff together. So it's kind of hard for me to explain a lot more. But, you know, my dad, he was a perfect guy. And it's like, my mom used to just beat on him. I seen her throw a coffee mug at his head and smack him right over it. Boom, busted his whole thing open. He was like literally like bleeding all over the place. And he still didn't do nothing. He walked away from her. He was such an honorable person. Everybody loved him. He was hands-on, fix anything. He was handyman. He was whatever you wanted him to be. He was the perfect guy. but he had a heart disease. And, my mom, she ended up with cancer, and it was cervical cancer, and she passed away at 45 from it. God bless her soul, and I wish I was there to be with her during that time. But at that time, I was at a friend's house making music, and I never really get to say goodbye to her that I wanted to. So I want my mom to know I love her, and I want you guys to know that, and I love all you guys. But, and my dad, like I said, my dad was sick. He had his first heart attack at 31. I don't remember what age I was, but when that happens, it's a traumatic thing for a person. It literally destroyed me, because that happened before my mom had her cancer. So it threw me off. It broke me inside. I thought my dad was going to die. I literally cried like a baby, and I was a baby. So for me to be a baby, to take that was something that really, really hurt me, and I had to watch this. My dad must have had like 4 to 5 heart attacks. He had a stroke, a triple bypass. He had stents. He had everything done to him that he could have. He was the strongest guy I've ever seen. The doctor said he's never seen anybody go through that many surgeries for heart, for your heart. And my dad did it. And it was to the point, like don't want to be in details, but it was to the point my dad was literally, he'll sit there and he'll be talking to you at the end, like before he passed away, he would talk to you. And then bam, he would knock out. It's something, he would just knock out face flat. And when you see stuff like that, it tears you, it breaks you, it rips you apart. But I think it's something that also helps build us inside to be who we need to be. And for the reason we need to be. It's a lot and it hurts, but God wouldn't have never gave us this, if he didn't want us to go through it and if we couldn't handle it. A lot of times I thought I couldn't handle it. I thought I wanted to just leave this earth. I didn't want to be born. I literally went to jail many and plenty of times for other people's reasons, because people get jealous, or, someone takes you with them somewhere and you don't know nothing about it. Next thing you know, you're in the middle of something. Or you get put in a position where you're like, all right, and then you just go along with the situation and you get pulled into things. A lot of times I met, no disrespect towards women or anything, but every time I get in a relationship with a woman, it doesn't turn out well. They end up being this good person during, the first month. And then after the first month, things change. When I feel a person ain't giving me their love, I pull away. So when I pull away, these women get mad at me. They want to go get mad at me and call the cops. He did this, or he did that. All right, well, you know what? A lot of times I used to not be on my A game, and I used to always just let them win. I'd let the state win. I'd let people win.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What's your father's name?
My dad's name is Edmund Dacey.
Dacey.
Senior. Edmund John Dacey.
Another thing I want to ask. You said when your mother, she used to break things. What was one thing that was broken that you could think about that really hurt you? Something that, because it seems like every time you talk about, you go back to
the one thing she broke that really hurt me was my heart.
Back to that, the broken heart. How do you feel right now?
I feel like a new person. I'm dealing with a little bit of depression, but who doesn't? I've obviously been through the struggles. I'm stronger than I ever thought I was gonna be. But these guys literally gave me that jump start.
Yeah.
No. These guys.
I gotta stop here. Who came here?
I came here.
Who stayed here?
I did.
Who? Then you can come back.
Me.
Who's helping you?
Me.
All right.
And
now,
you.
let's back to this. Yeah. Now, Will, what are you doing now, though? Like that was your past. That's where you were before. All that hate, but now there's so much love in you. Where does that come from?
Well, that love comes from this guy up above, because that's just who taught me, how to be myself and how to love. And I don't think that the world realizes that right now this is a hard time for us, because I learned about environmental stuff, And I know that we pretty much are like, we're on the weighing scale right now like this with our world.
Like this, right? We're right here, right? Now we're
Tipping towards,
the wrong side.
I just want people to know, we're tipping towards the wrong side of the scale. All right? And things are going to get hard for people. And I'm not, I'm a person of a higher power and I love my God. And I'll tell you right now, something came to me and told me, and something pushed me into all this stuff, because I would have never learned environmental stuff if it wasn't the last thing that was on the list. It was the last thing on the list, the only thing I can get in.
Recovery.
Oh, it's recovery, but I want them to know that tipping the scales.
That'll be another one.
Recovery, I'm sorry guys, but I want people to know,
and we do know, because everybody here,
we'll come together.
They actually love the world and earth. I know because these people keep coming. Showing up. These are recovery people. They come. What I just did with Will, I'm sorry nobody knew. This is called public narrative coaching. We listen to people teach, speak their stories, and then we pause. And we bring them back to a place to remember something. I'm trained in doing this, so I bring people places where they go back to get that spark. And when they get there, we can immediately pull them back easily. And when we do that as coaches, whether it's recovery coaching or public narrative coaching, we can either bring people in bad places or good places. So that being said, I'm really good back to speaking. It was a perfect time to do that. And recovery coaching, we get trained to do these things like going through jails. We get trained to do these things repetitively, and then we go in and use this stuff because we have to talk to people and we have to make sure it's their recovery. Let them know that we're here for them, that we're building them up. A lot of the times, what we can do also is project us into them. So, back to recovery.
All right, so let me change this up. All right, so I'm sorry, I got a lot of energy, and I'm really happy that you guys are here with us tonight. And this is really a good thing for me, and I need this, because I don't get much exposure like I should, and I need it because I need to get myself together, right? Is that?
You're perfectly fine.
Oh, all right.
I need to get myself together.
But you are together. He knows he's together. Let me tell you, this guy is so together.
Bro. So would you like to give us a song?
Huh?
Would you like to give us a song?
A song?
Yes.
You want me to just make it up?
Freestyle.
Freestyle.
Baby.
All right, so I'm gonna freestyle for these guys.
This is what Will does. This is what Will does, and I didn't even know Will, mind you, but I kept saw his posts everywhere, all over Maine. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And out of nowhere, I saw him walking. I saw him on Facebook walking across a bridge, and he was depressed. He didn't know where to go. I'm like, this guy's in Augusta. He's out here. He's one of us, and he's giving all this music, and now he's here at the Ark. And needless to say, all I'm gonna do is put on a beat, and I'm gonna let Will do what Will does. This is the testimony that's expressive. Thank you.
Let's go, Will.
Oh, that might be me. What is going on here? We're connected. Come on, volume. No.
Is the volume up?
Oh, no. It's just to go from the same
Yeah. I love everybody out here. My name's Chill Will, and I'm back at it again. I got the crime rate going down, you know what I said. I'm representing from Maine, I'm coming straight out of Augusta. I'm representing from Rhode Island, no I am not a buster. Check me out, look me up on Facebook. I got the most positive vibes around, check the hook. I'm just trying to let you know I'm the realest one around. I'm speaking straight from the heart, and I'm coming to your town. We can take it if you want it, but don't tip the scale. The world is coming to an end if you just don't prevail. I'm trying to tell you the truth, I'm trying to keep 100. You better go see Rick Warren. I ain't up on that buzzing, man. It's all of a sudden got that purpose-driven driving. God told me, look, I'm sitting here and I'm smiling. Shout out to my people on Facebook, cause we real live, straight and direct. That's the storm and that's what I bring next. People wanna talk, they always wanna hate. cause they want your shine and they just wanna eat your plate. I ain't hungry, but I put it down for the state. I'm just trying to make a mix. You can say I'm on my break. I'm trying to cook it in the pot. God told me go in from the heart and don't stop. Every time I make a walk, you can see me on my march, blowing up my world peace. Where does this end? Where does this start? Man, God said he's got a bigger plan in the ark. We're just trying to rip this all apart. Look at the world, I think it's time to put in your roots, cause the game's going off, you know I'm the real truth. I speak it honest, and I ain't gotta speak hate, I speak true, cause God told me my life's at stake. So is it yours, your kids, and the future generations. Things are gonna start happening if you keep sitting waiting. You gotta open your eyes and look what's around, cause if you love this world, it won't go down. I'm trying to tell you the real, so listen to the sound. Automatically, God told me to put this down. I love y'all are nice. I love everybody out here, everybody on Facebook, all my friends, my family, the ones who said I couldn't get here, and I'm getting there.
I just want you to know I love you, and everybody here at the Ark loves you too.
Guys.
Hey, you want to sit up here? Yeah, I got something else coming up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, bring them on up. Where they at?
Michael Patterford. Come on, baby.
Let's go.
Yeah, and many others, you might be. So, Michael, yeah, our journey started, I don't even remember, Me Rap, all kinds of different organizations. But we went to a gut. Hey, you gonna let me speak about you? Alright, thanks. So we went to a Rustic, and this is where all this idea came from. Because really, we went to a Rustic and freestyle, just speaking our testimonies and talking about what we're doing, and we just waited to see who came and approached us after we spoke. And not the people you think would came, but people came and heard our testimony, and those people approached us afterwards. And since then, Mike's been hell bent on making sure Rustic had everything that they need. I mean, Mike came from Rustic, left, came down here, got right, and then went back to his hometown to build it back up. And that's the true whole broker to me, baby. There you go.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Good.
So I'm Mike Paddleford, and I recover loud.
Yes.
And you know, to me, this is a movement that we need to spread and share, because people need to know that recovery is possible. There's people all over the state, the country, the world that are out there recovering in silence, and other people don't have the hope to get out and find. You know, there's no inspiration for them to get any better. Aroostook County is pretty stigmatized against recovery, against addiction, against mental illness. And we need to show that there is hope regardless of where we are. Even amongst the stigma, people can recover. I started Recovery on the Road in 2020 as a way to share my own recovery with my friends. I was posting a lot of positive shit, and I assumed that some people were getting annoyed by it all the time. So I started the group just as a way to share my pictures and my little memes, and it started to spread. Because at that time, people needed hope. They needed positivity. The pandemic started, there was no connection. We all know connection is the opposite of addiction, and that's how we can stay focused on making ourselves and the world around us better. I want to talk about the power of one, because we are all each just one. But each one of us affects many. There's several people in this room as an individual who affected my life in a lot of different ways. Rob is just one. He's the owner of a sober house where I was living in my car trying to hang on to the hope of recovery, because I didn't want to go back home to Aroostook County and get back in to the circle of friends and the same old stuff, because I had no hope back home. You know, and Rob's just one. Because of that one, I'm me, and I'm going out doing everything I can to affect someone else. started Recover Loud last December, a TV show where we share stories from people who have found recovery, the different paths of recovery. We know that there's more than one way to do it, and we support every way. And just giving people, making it visible, and giving people ideas of how they might do it, giving them the hope that they can do it. And it's been an amazing experience. So I started the group, and then I started the TV show, and just from this, so many things are happening. For me, as one person, I've been able to bring an MAT program as a second option to my community. I've been able to distribute Narcan. I distribute Journey Magazine. And what's funny is because I'm out there giving Narcan and, being loud, I was contacted by the Department of Education, Aroostook County liaison, she actually, for 5 counties. And she said, can you come to our regional school nurse meeting and discuss the importance of Narcan? So in 2020, the legislature passed a bill that allowed schools to start, administering Narcan in their schools in case it's needed. Many schools decided they didn't want to carry it. They didn't want that. It all goes back to the stigma. They didn't want people to think that they were providing, another chance for somebody to go out and get high. And that's how they see it. A lot of them. So I met with 5 counties of school nurses back in August. A couple weeks later, I got a call from another liaison who was in charge of 3 counties, and then another one with 2 counties. So far, I've met with nurses from 10 counties in Maine. And from those meetings, I've trained 15 individual school nurses on using naloxone for their personal use. And when I found out that some of the schools didn't adopt the policy because for whatever reason the school board didn't see it was necessary, because they see it as our kids are elementary school or middle school, we don't need to worry about that yet. And I remind them all the time, parents come into the school all the time, but also the teachers, bus drivers, janitors are people too. And we all suffer in our own ways, and we all may choose something like fentanyl to deal with our issues. And we're not going to brag about it. We're not going to tell our coworkers. And that is what gets them. As soon as I tell them that, the person sitting next to you may need the Narcan someday, it kind of hits them, and they see how real it is. And the last training I went to St. John Valley, and they have one superintendent for 7 different schools. So they all came together for one training. And when I said that, all of them looked to one person in the room. And I kind of took that as, they all know something, and what was great, it was a great training too, because they asked questions. Naloxone training is about 15 minutes. It's a real simple thing to do. You either fill the syringe, thigh, butt, or shoulder, or you put the nasal spray in their nose, and that's the extent. But that training lasted an hour and 10 minutes because they were engaged. They wanted to know. They wanted to find out. At the end of that training, one of the nurses said, I can tell you that I was one that was totally against carrying it in my school. But after hearing what you've said, I'm 100% behind it. I think it's necessary. I think it's needed. And I'm happy to have it. And I think you should come and talk to the rest of the faculty.
On that whole note, so a lot of people who don't know me about my past life, some people do know my past life. I ran gangs my whole entire life. I was the dealer. I got into drugs after watching my best friend die, finding him in my house. I became addicted to drugs afterwards, trying to kill myself. I couldn't get out of the drugs. So for 8 years straight, it was crack, anything, everything that I could get my hands on that wouldn't kill me. And then I got into heroin, and then I died. My grandparents got a chance to watch me. Were you guys there? Or was it just Kagan?
No,
Shannon, no. But they get a call because they hear their son or grandson is laying dead. But a woman pulled up to my van, pulled over, and she didn't have to. She saw somebody lumped over the steering wheel, dead. I was already dead. When the police and ambulance came, I was dead on arrival. They actually literally bagged me up and were talking crap about me, laughing because of the person I used to be. Point being is, I got Narcan. I'm alive today. Now I am involved in every movement to help my people find life instead of death. If we don't Narcan our friends, you never know when there's another Mike or another Marshall or another, name it. There's a whole room right now who's probably going through things, who's out helping. If you notice, it's us helping our people. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so, that was pretty powerful for me, knowing that I was doing something that was affecting others. One of the other things I do, we have a methadone clinic in the next town. The rideshare program doesn't have enough drivers. So I started to volunteer. I take 3 people every morning to the program. And I'm not trying to brag about what I do, but showing the importance of what one person can do. Rob does a lot of things and it affected me, and he's one person. I'm doing a lot of things to affect a lot of people. I'm one person. You are one person and can do a lot of things to affect a lot of people. Without recovery, none of this would have been possible. Without getting involved in my recovery, without working every day to make my life better, I wouldn't be able to affect others to make their lives better.
Yeah, I'm so glad you do.
I love being a recovery coach. I'm a recovery coach for Blue Sky Counseling. I'm a recovery coach for a second program in Bangor. I just got hired today. I do as much as I can. Last week I went to church, and the lesson was on 1 John, and the pastor said, whatever we're rich with, we share with others who don't have it. I don't have a lot of money. I have time, and I give my time to those that need it. I give my story to those that need it. I share my experience because that's what I have, and everyone's story is important. Everyone's story can affect other people, so being here doing things like this, the TV show Recover Loud, any way that you can share your experience with somebody else, you're going to benefit them regardless of what your story is, because you're alive today regardless of what you've gone through to get here. And other people are struggling in silence, thinking they're the only ones. Once they find out what I've been through and they can relate to that, then they know they're not alone. They know there's a way out. They know it's still possible. So I'm going to keep recovering loud, and sharing as much as possible, trying to affect as many people as possible, and we'll just keep going.
And thank you. So,
Yeah.
we'll give everybody a 10-minute break.
Oh wait, no. Start my beat.
Oh, you got beat? Hold on, wait. Oh. I thought we had something going on. Oh, man. Mike, thank you. You did not have a mic, man. 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes. Everybody got some coffee, cigarettes, whatever you do.
We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Good for that mic, Mike.
God bless.